Hi YouTubers, it's Ren here. How you doing? Today we're going to be... Excuse me, sorry, that's my phone. I apologise for that. Yeah. Today we're going to be seeing how I get on creating a virtual machine in VMware Workstation 10 and installing Arch Linux using the AUI script. So yeah, where you get the AUI script from, it includes two scripts. It includes the AUI script and the AIS script. Now I believe the AIS script is the post-installation script that you might want to run after installing Arch Linux. We're going to be running through that as well and getting Arch Linux to at least a basic desktop. So yeah, we're going to be seeing how I get on doing that today. Now this video is uncut. It's as is, warts and all. It's totally uncut. So there will be mistakes and everything. Okay, the only time it's going to be cut is when I pause the video, because at the minute I'm doing a couple of other things as well whilst recording this video. So, and you may hear some alarms going off and stuff, you know, like on phones and tablets and whatever. So yeah, I'm currently doing a couple of other things at the minute. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So let's create the virtual machine. We're going to go for a custom virtual machine this time. We're going to go for Workstation 10, which is the highest spec, and we're going to browse for my Arch Linux install ISO, which is on my drive U. I've got a little bit of a organised mess of hard drives at the minute on my computer, so you'll have to excuse the mess. Right, now I think what you need to install, what you need to select, so let's see if there's Arch Linux in here. That I don't think Arch Linux is here. What you need to select is, I think a 3.x 64-bit kernel. This is going to be a 64-bit installation. So yeah, 3.x kernel will do for it, I think, because I think it has a 3-point-something kernel. So and the version of Arch Linux I'm installing, I believe is 3.12.9. So I'm going to type Arch Linux 3.12. Oh, excuse me. 0.9 64. Oh, 64-bit. Right. I'm gonna, for my purpose, I'm gonna change the location of the virtual machine. So just for my convenience, put that there, and I'll just copy and paste virtual machine name. So the folder will have the virtual machine name. Excuse me for this. So yeah, so right, what should I do here? I believe I will assign 2 cores to the virtual machine, and how much RAM? How much RAM? I don't know how much I put on my previous Arch Linux machine, so I think I'm just going to go for just over a gig. I'll make it just over a gig for now. 1348 meg. Well, it's quite well over a gig really, but still. Yeah, what about 1.3 gig? And we'll use network address translation. That should work perfectly fine for sharing the host's internet connection to connect to the outside world, the internet. So we'll just and it recommends LSI logic, so we'll go for that. And I believe I'm going to go for SATA, as I am actually running the hang on, where exactly is this partition? Excuse me a second, let me just find out exactly where that partition is. I think it's on a USB drive. So yeah, it's on a USB drive. So personally, what I would recommend is SCSI. So yeah, I would recommend that myself. That's more often than not, if I'm running virtual machines off a USB drive, I use SCSI, so, and it's usually pretty successful and quite fast. So yeah, I recommend that. I'll go for that. Excuse me. So we'll create a new hard disk here. We'll store the virtual disk file as a single file, and I'll go as high as 20 gig. So I never know what I'm going to do with this virtual machine, so yeah, I'll go as high as that. Should store it in the same location as the virtual machine, so we'll just leave this setting as is. And then what I think we should do is customize hardware. Now I always tend to do this with my virtual machines. I always enable this setting here, Intel VTX /EPT or AMD /RVI, virtualization engine preferred mode, because I like to experiment with nesting virtual machines as well. I like to virtualize VTX /EPT or AMD /RVI technology. I also virtualize CPU performance counters as well, to get a more accurate measurement of performance per virtual machine. So yeah, this is what I usually do, but this isn't needed. None of this, what I've just done here, is actually needed for this purpose we're doing in this video, so you can ignore what I've done in the processors section here. So yeah, you can ignore that if you want to. That's fine. Network adapter NAT. Now, USB controller. I don't like to automatically connect new devices. I do usually share the Bluetooth devices with the virtual machine. I'm going to experiment and see if I can get USB 3 running on Arch Linux. So yeah, let's see if we can do that. And sound card settings should be fine. Connect printer at power on. I do like to accelerate 3D graphics, so if we do that in the display section. Okay, excuse me. Hi everyone, it's Ren here. Sorry I had to cut the video just now because I had to stop recording overnight because I was doing things at the same time as recording this video last night, and it just got too late to record the video. So yeah, so basically I've decided to continue recording the video today, and you'll notice that when I click OK on this window, you won't see the other window anymore. That's because I've already created the virtual machine now, and yeah, but when you get to that stage, right, where it says customize hardware, once you've customized your hardware, all you need to do is click OK and then click finish, and then virtual machine creation will be complete. Okay. Now you may also have noticed I've deleted the hard disk. Right now I've decided to expand the hard disk to 40 gig instead, because this seems to be generally what the Arch Wiki recommends. So I mean, it recommends 20 gig for the root partition alone. So yeah, so I'm going to give it a whopping 40 gig. Now where we left off last time I was doing the video, we were doing virtual machine display settings, and I always enable accelerate 3D graphics because I like to use the extended graphic capabilities of VMware Workstation 10, so they're really good. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click add, and then just click next, leave SCSI selected, create new hard disk, store it as a single file, put 40 gig, and click next. It should store it in the same location as the virtual machine itself, so you don't need to customize this. Just leave this as is and just click finish, and almost in an instant, there you are, new hard disk created. It's so quick because it's a dynamically expanding hard disk. So right, so the next thing I'm going to try, I'm going to click OK here, and then actually I'm just going to quickly make sure that my CD is set to connect to power on. Yes it is, yeah. Now I'm going to power on the virtual machine. Now the disk, the live disk bootloader comes up. You'll notice there's two options for booting the live CD Arch Linux. The top option says boot Arch Linux x86_64. That's the 64-bit variant. That's the one we want. The other one, i686, is 32-bit. So if you've got a 32-bit processor, then you must select that one, right? Don't select the top one. But I've got a 64-bit machine, so I can run 64-bit software. So we'll go for the top one. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to update the system. So we type pack, oh, I've typed that wrong, excuse me, pack man, oh, again, dash, capital S, lowercase y, lowercase u. I think the S, the capital S means to install packages. The Y means system, so like update core system, right? And the U means general all over update. Okay, so we're going to run this. This will take a few minutes. I generally say yes to these questions, and of course we're going to continue with the installation. I may get myself a coffee in a minute. Yeah, this will take a few minutes, so you might want to get a coffee. Excuse me, a coffee, or you might want to skip perhaps a minute or two of the video. Now, I had a go earlier at installing Arch Linux using the AUI and AIS scripts. The AIS script is now called FIFO, right? And the other one, the AUI script, is now called LILO, right? Or LILO. LILO. Now, I tried earlier, unfortunately, catastrophic failure, right? I just could not get the system to boot, right? It wouldn't even go into the bootloader. I couldn't get it to boot. So I looked online and I missed a couple of things, and it made me feel a little bit stupid, basically. So, you know, there was a couple of things I'd missed out, and I think they're the reasons that I was failing. So I will probably point out the reasons when I come to them in this video. Yeah, basically I'd recorded it, but of course it was wasted recording. So you know, Pardon me. Just want to take this opportunity to plug this. Now this is nothing to do with computers whatsoever. For a few minutes, sorry I'm straying away to something completely unrelated, but basically I wanted to mention that I've got a new Twitter account. The address is @Mr. Reno Tweeter. That's capital M, lowercase r, capital R, double E, N-O, capital T, Tweeter. You know how to spell Tweeter, obviously, so yeah. There's a separate video that I recorded introducing people to the Twitter account, but I'd forgot to mention that I'd also like to think about using it for dating. So if there's anyone out there looking for love, you know, if you're interested, by all means check out my Twitter account, you know, and see if there's anything you're interested in and anything you'd like to say, you know. I want to get into dating again, because feeling a little lonely these days. So yeah, I mean, I like all sorts of things. I like you know, I like technology, I like music, acting, performing arts generally, sports, I like football, martial arts, you know, all that sort of stuff. You know, so if there's anything you're interested in, you know, tell me about it. And I like socialising, I like going out and socialising and talking to people and stuff like that. But anyway, as you can see, the install's come to a halt. So back to the subject now. Never mind all that for now. Back to the subject. So it says import PGP key from Anatol Pomazov. Anatol Pomazov @gmail.com. And I will say yes to this. Now it fails the first time usually, so if I type in the command again, it will usually work the second time. Let's try yes again. It's not working this time. We'll try a third time. I don't understand why it doesn't work half the time. It's like there's something wrong with the server. No, still not working. I need to get this to work. It's working now. Good. This will probably take a few minutes, I think, this bit. So I don't think it'll take that long. It's basically running the upgrades for the whole system, the live system. Now I've noticed when you go into CG disk, if you haven't got a partition table already there, it doesn't work. So before I even download the scripts, to make sure I remember to do it, what I always do is type gdisk and then enter my device path, which in my case is /dev/SDA. That's the path to the disk, and you see there's nothing present, no MBR, no GPT or anything. So it says it's creating a GPT automatically. So you type W and then press enter to make sure it's written it to disk. Do I want to proceed? Yes. Type gdisk again, type your path, then you see it says that it's present. There's also a protective MBR as well. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but possibly might be. Just going to look for the command for verify, which is V. I thought it was. No problems found. 40 gig available in 1. Right. So we'll quit the utility, and then we're going to install the Git program. But we're also, I think we're also going to do a core system update again. For some reason, the person who made these scripts has put in his instructions that you type Y after S. For some reason, I don't know why. So you type pacman dash S lowercase y, then a space, and then you type git. But it says it's all up to date anyway. Proceed with installation. Now we want to get the scripts themselves from the GitHub. Okay, so we type git clone git github.com/helmuthdu/AUI. It's getting all the scripts now and putting it into a temporary place. Now it has made a AUI folder. So you CD into that folder. Now type ls space -l. Notice that the relevant files, the FIFO, LILO and LILO.automode files, are not set as executable. Either there's a reason for this or it's a total mistake. It's probable that the developer has probably forgot to set the permissions for these files. So all the files in grey here are read-write only, but they're not executable. So you need to set them as executable. You will notice that when you set them as executable, you won't have the read-write properties. That's nothing to be concerned about. That doesn't matter. It still works. Okay? So you type chmod A, meaning for all users. So you set the attributes, file attributes for all users, well, permissions I mean, and then you type X, which means executable, and then space, and then you type the file name. In this case it's FIFO. There you go, it's set. Type the same again, except for the end will be LILO, again the same, but you add dot auto mode to the end of that, so as to make that file executable as well. Then you type ls-l again, just to double check everything, and it's fine. You notice there are 3 X's on each of them, and they're all green now, so they've all got stars by them and they're all green, so that means they're all executable. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to execute the FIFO script. So we type ./FIFO. There we go, and it says Arch install scripts are a set of bash scripts that simplify Arch installation. I forgot one thing. There's one thing I have forgot. You go into the bash shell first before you execute this script. Now you execute the script. I always forget that every time. I don't know why, but anyway. Right, same message. Doing a little update there. Then we select our key map, which in my case is 206 because it's UK. And then we select our text editor, which in my case is going to be Nano, because that's my favourite command line based text editor for Linux. Then we configure mirror list. In my case it's United Kingdom. You want to select a location as close as possible to wherever you are, whether you're at home or on your laptop, out and about, whatever. Select whether you're on holiday, you know, select wherever's closest to you, right? So or wherever you're at even. So in my case it's 48, and you check the mirror list file here. Mirrors seem to be correctly configured. There's even one in Manchester here. I come from reasonably close to Manchester, but there's a few others as well that are dedicated to Arch Linux. We'll just write it out just in case, just to make sure it is definitely saved, and then we exit. Then we select partition scheme. We'll go for default, and we'll select utility CG disk, and we'll select 1 because there's only one there, obviously, so there's only one disk. Now we create a new partition, and our first partition will be 200 megabyte, and oh, I've made a mistake, damn it. Ignore that. Ignore that. I've made a mistake. Yeah, let me go back again. Right. We leave that setting as default, the first sector, and then 200 megabyte for the size of the partition. And what we now, this is where I went wrong last time. This is where I made a mistake. You must do this, right? What you must do is, if you don't know the code already, you type L, press enter, and you look for BIOS boot partition, right? And as you can see, BIOS boot partition is EF02, right? So I need to type EF02. Last time I left it as a general Linux file system, and that was a big mistake. So, you know, I'm gonna give the partition a name. I'm gonna give it boot. So that's the boot partition. You do not format that partition. You are making a mistake if you format it. I think the grub, for example, the grub bootloader uses it raw, so it just uses it in its own way. So you just don't format it. So right, and then the next thing is root, and I believe I'm going to create. What did the ArchWiki? It was 20 gigs recommended for root. So says the ArchWiki. So I'm going to put 20 gig. I think the root partition can be left with the same file system, so you can just leave whatever file system is selected already, and then just have a quick look at Professor Chrome. And the next one I'll do is the var partition, and I'll make that the maximum 12 gig. So leave that setting as default again, and then put 12 gig. Var can be the same file system. And of course we'll name it var. And then it also recommends to put a home partition so we'll do that, and I think for my home partition we'll put 4 gig. So we'll leave that on default. We'll put 4 gig there, leave the file system on default, type home, right? And then I think the next one to do is the swap. Yeah, I thought so. Swap. Leave that at default, and I think for swap we'll give it 2 gig. And we need to change the file system to swap. I know the number for this already. It's 8200. So 8200. So we name it swap. And then it also says put a data partition, recommendable. That's for general usage, I think. We'll put 1 gig for data partition, leave the default file system, we'll call it data, and then it doesn't say you've got to do this. I've done that wrong, excuse me, I forgot to type G. Right, 1G, and then we'll call that data. There we are. Now it doesn't say you've got to do this on the Arch wiki, but I tend to do this anyway, as sometimes this is part of a standard partition layout for Linux. So I tend to create temp and pros partitions. So I'm going to create a 400 megabyte temp partition, TMP, and the rest of the space can go to pros, PROC. And that's it. That's all you need. So I'm going to write that out to the disk. There you are. And I'm going to quickly verify it, check there's no errors. It says no problems found. Right, you just quit. Now you need to select whatever's your root partition. Now my root partition was SDA2, I think. So confirm format, yeah, and we'll format that to ext4. Then we need to select the scheme for swap. It's partition style, and the swap was, I think the swap I think was SDA5. There must have been what I did previous time. Yeah, I think the swap's SDA5. So we select option 4 here. Want to configure more partitions, and SDA3 would have been var, I think. So we select SDA3 and we say /var, format that to ext4, configure more partitions, yes. SDA4 would have been home, I'm sure. That's probably, I forgot to mark it down, you know, on Notepad. I should have done like I did last time. So SDA4 I think is home. So we'll put /home. We'll format that to ext4 as well. and configure more partitions. Yes, SDA 6. Oh, wrong notepad, excuse that. SDA 6 might have been data. Yeah. Right. So we'll put slash data x4 and then I'm pretty certain that SDA 7 was TMP, temp, format, yeah, and we need to configure one more partition now, and that's SDA 8, that will be pros. Right, and that's fine. We configure no more partitions now, so that should be fine. Now we install base system. This is the major stuff, so I might go and grab myself a cup of coffee. Alright. Sorry? Well, yeah, it's mine anyway, so... Right, I'm back. Now it's time to configure the file system table file. So we press 6 and I believe we should select dev. Let's see if everything's in order. We haven't got a mounting for the boot partition. Okay. I'm guessing what we need to do is go back to partitioning scheme, maintain current setup. Oops. Oh. So I have to do this again. It's giving me no choice. Right. Ah. I think what I need to do before I go back in the script is type mount /dev /sda1 space /boot. Mounting read only. Right, that should be okay, I'd have thought. So we'll go back to the FIFO installer. Now we looked at our we did the file system table. We selected the text editor again. So the next thing to do is configure host name. I'm going to call mine VMware Arch Linux 64-bit. There we are. Then number 8, configure time zone. Number 8 again for me because it's Europe, and then 24 London. There. Configure hardware clock. I always go for UTC, so should work. Configure locale. Now my option will be 68 EN_GB. So yeah. And then configure make init CPIO. Why didn't that execute? Perhaps because FS tab wasn't properly configured. Give me a second. No such file or directory. Oh, I know what I've done wrong. I've not gone back into bash. Oh, I have. Perhaps I need to chroot. So arch dash chroot / mnt. mnt / root. Oh no. Darn it. I don't know why that's not executing. Looks like I'll have to quickly run through it all again. 68. No, it's not 68. 206. I do apologise for this, people. I think this is failing again. I wish I never made that typing error. Oh my god. Right, make sure that's writ out. Partition scheme. We just need to make sure that everything's mounted correctly. So it's going to force me to do it anyway, so right, partition, and it was SDA 5, so select option 4. Now, what was SDA 3? SDA 3 was var. Oh, that reminds me, I've got to install the base system again. Oh, darn it. Configure more partitions, yes. SDA 4. Now, what was SDA 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Would have been home, I think. Slash home. Configure more partitions, yes. yeah, SDA6 would have been data. And then SDA7 would have been temp. And then SDA8 would have been pros. Yeah. And then that's it. We don't need to configure any more partitions. We'll install base system again. Right, that's done. Let's configure file system table again. That all seems to be in order, so we'll write that out just in case. configure the host name again. That should identify it on the network. Configure time zone. Yeah. I always use UTC for hardware clock. Configure locale 68. And then we can try the make init CPIO thing this time, and it's working. Let's hope that's worked. Install bootloader. Let's hope you can get it off the server this time. Yay. I don't know what this Squash FS thing is meant to be. No volume groups found. Right, I'm not sure if those errors are good or not. We'll configure password again. And I'll just take the disk out. Oh, of course it's using it, isn't it? Right. Okay. We'll just say done. Ah, it looks like it's worked. Why hasn't it booted into my disk though, I wonder? It says connector power on, but anyway, I can't complain because the bootloader is working finally. Let's see what the advanced options for Arch Linux are. Arch Linux with Linux. What the hell? And Arch Linux with Linux fallback init RAM FS. What is that Linux thing? But anyway, let's try booting into our new install. Ah, that is the login. It's come up with them strange messages for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the login. That is the login screen. Let's see if I can delete all that crap. No, I can't. That's the login screen. So I should be able to log in as root. And there we go. We are in our environment. Excuse me. So let's continue on and see what we've got in the root directory. AUI. So let's cd into AUI. I think that's a directory. Yeah, let's cd into AUI. And let's see what's in the AUI folder. Now let's see if they're executable still. Yes, brilliant. They are. I think I'm going to have a go at this LILO. Actually, I'm just going to do a quick thing here a minute. I'm going to ping Google for a minute 3 times just to see if the internet connection is working properly. Okay. Unknown host. That is not a good sign. This is not good. Perhaps this will be sorted out in the AUI script. So we'll go into LILO now, LILO auto mode. Right, that doesn't seem to have done nothing. So it must be the other one we have to use. Okay. Welcome to Arch Linux new Ultimate install script by Helmuthdu. Requirements: Arch Linux installation. Run script as root user. Working internet connection. Oh no. Right. Backups. pacman.conf to pacman.conf.aui. Error, connection not found. Right. Let's try wired automatic and see if we can sort it. No, I think we're going to have to go manual. Right. The unit name is not valid. Right. Let's check the IP address of my machine. excuse me, 192.168.1.66. Right. Subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. The gateway is default gateway is 192.168.254. Was it .1? Yeah. I don't think we've got to be concerned about this file, so we'll leave that. Hang on, just make sure it's got the default. Oh, it's all commented out anyway, so it don't matter. Should be okay. Still says connection not found. Can't establish connection. Exiting. Right. Let's try this. System CTL enable hang on, LSPCI. Let's have a look at the Arch Wiki at the minute. I don't know why this wasn't sorted out by the script. It should have been. Oh, that's partitioning. Let's try this. Right. Excuse me. Has that worked? Let's see. Yeah, it has worked. Okay. I think we need to enable it as well. So it should hopefully auto start on boot up, as far as I know. Now let's run the AUI script again. Right, locale. Locales are used in Linux to define which language the user uses. As the locales define the character sets, being used as well, setting up the correct locale is especially important if the language contains non-ASCII characters. Default system language, correct. Available users, no user at the minute. So create new user. My name is Ren. Ren. I will put no phone numbers. Choose your bash RC. Go for the default. Select editor, nano. Right. Now choose your default AUI helper. This is the Arch Linux user repository. AUI helpers are written to make using the Arch user repository more comfortable. None of these tools are officially supported by Arch devs. Now I tend to like, however you say it, YAWRT, which stands for yet another user repository tool. So I'll go for that. Right, password for Ren. Right, as far as I can see, everything looks fine. Auto mode. Create a custom install with all options pre-selected. Use this option with care. Use this mode only if you already know all the options. you won't be able to select anything later. Right, it's recommending not to go for it, so I'm not going to go for it. Right, now we've got a menu here with things like basic setup, desktop environment, accessories, development tools, things like that, web servers, audio, video. So we'll go through each and every one of these, and we'll see what I select. So we'll go for basic setup first. Add custom repositories. Does it have any custom repositories already? No, you have to put them in yourself. Right. Installing on compressed tools. Avahi is a free zero configuration networking implementation, including a system for multicast, DNS and DNS SD discovery. It allows programs to publish and discover services and hosts running on a local network with no specific configuration. Sounds pretty good. And here's ALSA. The Advanced Linux Sound Architecture is a Linux kernel is a Linux kernel component intended to replace the original Open Sound System version 3 for providing device drivers for sound cards. Right. It's also putting pulse audio on as well. Which tends to be quite good. A file system or file system is a means, well, we all know what a file system is. This is installing NTFS, FAT and exFAT support by the look of it. Right. .fs utils as well, so utils. So you can mess around with DOS based file systems as well. Right, Secure Shell, SSH, is a network protocol that allows data to be exchanged over a secure channel between two computers. I will experiment with that, so I'll install that. Unsupported package, potentially dangerous. Edit package build before install. No, I don't want to edit package build. Continue building RSSH. Yes. Right, view package contents, check package with NAMCAP. I think I'll just continue installing. 0.08 megabytes or megabytes in the term that it's using to install. Yeah, seems to be all successful. NFS, allowing a user on a client computer to access files over a network in a manner similar to how local storage is accessed. I like the sound of that, so we'll go for that. All successful. Samba is a re-implementation of the SMB CIFS networking protocol. It facilitates file and printer sharing among Linux and Windows systems as an alternative to NFS. We'll try that. Enter your new Samba account password. Right, all seems to be successful. Right, TLP is an advanced power management tool for Linux. It is a pure command line tool with automated background tasks and does not contain a GUI. We do not need it because this is a virtual machine, so we will say no to that. System D comes with its own read-ahead implementation. This should in principle improve boot time. However, depending on your kernel version and the type of your hard drive, your mileage may vary. It might be slower. We'll try without. ZRAM creates a device in RAM and compresses it. If you use for swap means, that part of the RAM can hold much more information but uses more CPU. Still, it is much quicker than swapping to a hard drive. If a system often fails, if a system often falls back to swap, this could improve responsiveness. ZRAM is in mainline staging, therefore it is not stable yet. Use with caution. I will not use that. Right. That is not the video. It is VMware. All successful. Font config is a library designed to provide a list of available fonts to applications, and also for configuration of how fonts get rendered. We'll go default on that, I think. Proceed with installation. All seems fine. CUPS is the standards-based open source printing system developed by Apple Inc. for Mac OS X and other Unix-like operating systems. Install CUPS, which stands for Common Unix Printing System. Yes, we'll have that. See, Linux is based on Unix as well, see. So, certainly partly so anyway, and most of the commands are very similar, or the same even. Right, install additional firmwares like audio, Bluetooth, scanner, wireless. Let's have a look what it has. I think, I'm not sure what half of this stuff actually is. Let's try the ALSA firmware. I think Blue's firmware is Bluetooth. Broadcom something Bluetooth. I'm not prepared to read it all. We'll try installing it and see if it enables my Bluetooth. Right, now we're done. Git Tor. Tor is an open source implementation of second generation onion routing that provides free access to an anonymous proxy network. Its primary goal is to enable online anonymity by protecting against traffic analysis attacks. Let's give that a try. It's Git based by the look of it. Ensuring access to Git through a firewall. Bypass college work firewall. Let's experiment with that. Let's putting Vidalia in. All successful by the seam of it. That's the basic setup. So we need to now select desktop environment and window manager. Now what do we have here? We need to start off with window manager. So I tend to like OpenBox. Now OpenBox is pretty good, so I'll go for number 12. No, we won't edit package build. We'll continue building. Let's view package contents. Should be fine. We will install. All seems good. Right. OpenBox Essential Apps. Now we have Display Manager. Now let's have a look at Display Manager. I believe we will try LightDM. That's quite a popular one. I've seen that on YouTube as well. It looks pretty good. So we'll go back. We'll select D menu, View Noir. No, I'm not sure what that is, but it's essential, so I think we'll go for it. GM Run. PCman FM is a good file manager, so it's supposed to be anyway. So we'll go for that. Excuse me. RxVT Unicode. Not too sure what that is, but it's an essential app, so I think I'll go for it. There's something called Scrot here as well. There's also something called Squeeze. We will not customize the package build. I don't even know what Squeeze is, so I won't do that. Continue building Squeeze. There. Continue installing squeeze. Yeah. Done. Thunar, something called Thunar. Not sure what that is. Tint 2. Vol wheel. You can guess what that is. XF Burn, I think that's a CD burning app. XComp Manager. Zathura. And there's a speed test client by the look of it. Will not edit package build. Continue installing. Yeah. View package contents. Well, that doesn't mean a lot. There, so all the essential apps are installed. I will find out what they are at a later date. Icons, themes. One. I don't know what any of these are like. Nitrux sounds appealing. We'll go for Nitrux. Let's try restarting it. There was an error downloading it. It's not able to download for some reason. We'll try another. We'll try number 2. Fiance or whatever it is. Right, let's put that Fianza thing as well. So, excuse me, GTK themes. Orion sounds interesting. That seems to be done. Oh. Oh, damn. What have I done? I thought it was B for back. It's, oh, for God's sake. It's D for done, isn't it? I hope I haven't messed it up. Let's install Network Manager. Network Manager is a program for providing detection and configuration for systems to automatically connect to the network. Network Manager's functionality can be useful for both wireless and wired networks. USB 3G modem support. I don't think that'll ever be needed, so no. I think, yeah, I'll leave that at that. I don't think we need to install we've got GNOME installed, I think, so yeah, we'll stick with that. Accessories apps, go for Cairo Dock. What exactly is catfish? Conky lures sounds like it might be useful. We'll just continue. Done. I don't think we'll have Docky. We'll have Calculator. Cupfair, I'm not sure what that is. Pi renamer sounds like it might be something useful. Damn, I misread that. Let's hope I haven't messed that up. Let's continue. See that the Terminator looks like sounds like something probably useful. I don't know what the other stuff is. Unified Remote, I think I've got that for Windows. I suppose I could try it on Arch Linux as well. So let's put that in. Right, that'll do for the accessories apps. Development apps, let's have a look what we've got. Aptana Studio, Atom, Bluefish, brackets, Eclipse. I will have Eclipse. and I'll install all the Eclipse stuff. This is obviously a big package. Let's see the size of the VMware disk at the minute. .2 gig. So there's a hell of a lot more we can put on there. Right, we need Eclipse IDE for C and C++ developers as well. I will get back to my programming one day. Eclipse is primarily for Android though. I've never really done Android before. Done. Android development tools for Eclipse. We'll definitely have that. Edit Android SDK.install. No. Continue building Android-SDK. Yeah. By the time we've done all this little system will be well kitted out. It's getting quicker now. What does it mean, no space left on device? I don't understand what is going on here. No space left on device, how can that be? Well, forget it in that case then. No, we'll have to say no. Right. Let's try Python development tools. Failure downloading. Forget it then. I think the only other thing I'll get is the Git support plugin for Eclipse, which hasn't come in for some reason. That's not working. Forget it. Let's have MySQL bench, NetBeans and Oracle JDK. Not happening for some reason. I think half this stuff is probably not available anymore. So we've got NetBeans. Let's get Oracle JDK as well. Right, why have they all disappeared? I give up with that, I really do. I give up. Office apps. Let's have Abbey Word and Numeric, G-Numeric. We'll try Calibrate or Caliber. and the last one I think we'll try is LibreOffice. Not that I haven't tried that enough. Hasn't got an X on it though, so it must have failed as well. Right, system maps. We will have firewall D, firewall, oh, couldn't read it, G parted, yes, we will have virtual box, right, and then we'll go for wine as well. Right, that's done. It's going rather slow. Graphics apps now. I think we'll go for Blender. Blender's quite respectable. And we'll go for GIMP as well. And last but not least, we'll go for Shotwell. Right, that's it for the graphics apps. God, that is slow to respond at the minute. Internet apps. Oh, excuse me. We will select our browsers. We'll go for Chrome. Not downloaded for some reason. We'll go for Chromium then in that case. We'll go for Firefox as well. Right, that'll be that for browser. Download and file share. Right. We should go for BitTorrent sync. Won't work. We'll try Dropbox. Ain't working. Okay, we'll try transmission. That worked. How about UGET? That worked as well. And YouTube download. Yeah, those three worked. Seems to be a lot of the AUI stuff that isn't working at the minute. Mapping tools. We'll go for VNC desktop share. We'll try Team Viewer, which won't work. Right. That's the internet apps. Audio apps. Players. I think we'll go for Clementine. Audacity. Now for codecs. Done. Pardon me. Video apps. We'll definitely go for VLC. I think we'll go for Minitube as well. I thought I said Minitube, not MPV. I wonder what happens if I press 6 then. Never mind. Not functioning right. XBMC is going to be massive. Ow. Failing. Continued, and it seems okay. Let's see what editors we have. I think OpenShot's meant to be quite good, so we'll go for OpenShot. Right, that'll do. Codecs. Oh gosh. Unable to create the temp directory. I don't think that would have worked. Right, games. What shall we go for? I believe we'll definitely have play on Linux. That's not just for games either. Play on Linux. Can use utilities on it as well. We'll go for Steam. So maybe I can get the Linux variants of some of the games I've got. Let's have a look at emulators. Desmume, Dolphin, Wii, EPSXE, not working. What about Project 64? No. WX Movement 64 Plus? No. What about ZS NES? Right. We'll leave them at that. Let's have a look at Action Adventure. Counter-Strike 2D. Now let's have a look at that. Oh, not working. I forget it. Mario. Right. Let's see if we can get this. Yeah, got that. And that was AUI. Let's try Open Sonic. No, not working. No more of them. Maybe a bit of Dungeon. Stone Soup or whatever. We'll try that. Don't seem to have installed. Let's have a look at FPS quickly. And oh, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. Oh, what a shame that don't work either. Oh. RPG. Free Droid RPG. What exactly is that? I wish it would tell you how big it was. Right, that seems to have worked. What exactly is terminal? Ninvaders. Doesn't work. BSD games. Toilet. There's even one called toilet. I must see what that... Oh, it doesn't come up. Forget it. Let's exit out of the games now. I won't go for web server stuff. Let's have a look at fonts. Let's try the Vista fonts as well. Doesn't work. Never mind. As long as we can see what we need to see. No, I won't bother with that. Right, we're going to clean orphaned packages. And reconfigure system. Right, host name, time, clock. No, I don't want to do that. I thought that was mandatory, but seems it ain't. I see they've got a sense of humour as well. How do you exit out of this? That's how you do it. You just press Q. Reboot my system. Yes, moment of truth now. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I'll let it auto select. Doesn't matter. Hey, we got a login screen. Right, what do we have here? Open box XBMC. Got accessibility, shutdown options and rest options. Let's log in as me. Numlock wasn't on. Silly thing. This ought to work. Well, we've got the basic window manager by the look of it. So I was expecting a start menu as well. Yeah. Where's Blender? I thought Blender was installed. Comes with OpenOffice. I don't remember installing any of these. Right, let's see if we can configure the desktops. No resolution configuration. Well, this is really bizarre because I don't remember installing half of this stuff. I mean, Conqueror for a start. You know? It's saying it can't load them. PC Man FM is there. I'm guessing what I need to do is install a desktop environment as well, a desktop manager. So let's give that a go. Let's go to we should be able to go to a terminals. I think, oh, I can't go to console. Xterm, that might do it. AUI packages. Actually, I wonder if I can go to PC Man FM and try and find the packages that way. Ah, it was in root, wasn't it? Permission denied. So you need to be sudoed, basically. Okay. I guess if I log in as root, I shouldn't have a problem. Right. Notice that starts up nice and quick. Wonder what XFace terminal looks like. Of course, XFace is not installed, so need the normal X terminal. We'll try PC Man FM a minute as well. Ah, home folder is root for root. So may not need that terminal. Right, executing terminal. That is not displaying properly. Hang on, let's try this again. No, doesn't work that way. Seems to be no way to go down to command line. Right, I'm going to continue this video at another time, so I'll see you for part 2, okay? Alright, thanks for watching, okay, bye.